Welcome to the deep dive. Today we are zeroing in on a pretty intense event,
Indeed.
a major wildfire that hit Marseille in France very recently.
hmm
We're working from an Associated Press news report here, and our goal really is to unpack it. Go beyond just the headline.
Right. Look at the mechanics of it.
Exactly. What were the immediate impacts? What factors, really drove this thing? And maybe what it signals about broader issues.
Sounds good.
Okay, let's get into it. So the AP report, it really paints a dramatic scene. This wasn't out in the wilderness.
No, right in the city's backyard, essentially.
It reached Marseille proper, France's second largest city.
And the disruption was immediate.
Huge. The report says Marseille Airport. They had to suspend all flights.
All of them. Wow.
Yeah, arrivals, departures, everything. Just think about that impact. A major transport hub completely stopped.
That's massive. And what about the people?
Well, the report confirms at least 9 injuries.
Okay.
And residents were facing this awful choice. Get out, evacuate, or literally barricade themselves inside.
Because the authorities were warning them to stay put.
Exactly. Public warnings, stay home. And the description of the air, it just says, smoke choked the Mediterranean air.
Chilling. You know, what really stands out there is the vulnerability.
Oh, so?
Well, the vulnerability of our modern cities, our infrastructure, an airport, a key gateway, just paralyzed like that by a natural event. It shows how quickly things can grind to halt, and it highlights the immense challenge of protecting so many people packed into one area when something moves that fast.
That speed is crucial, isn't it?
Absolutely. The call to shelter or evacuate, it shows a system really under pressure.
And speaking of what was driving that speed, the report is very specific.
Okay.
It points to one factor. The wildfire was, and I quote, spurred by hot summer winds.
Ah, the winds.
Not just dryness, but these specific winds acting as an accelerant.
And if we connect that to the bigger picture, especially for that part of France, hot summer winds isn't just, a general description.
Right, it sounds specific.
It strongly suggests the Mistral wind.
Okay, I've heard of the Mistral.
Yeah, it's a powerful, often cold, but very dry wind that barrels down from the north or northwest. It can pick up heat as it descends, too.
So the report might not name it, but the dynamics fit.
Precisely. The Mistral is famous or infamous for its velocity, its dryness. It funnels through valleys.
And that makes fires worse.
Dramatically worse. It doesn't just fan the flames. This is the critical part. It picks up burning embers.
Oh, wow.
And carries them, sometimes for miles, starting new fires way ahead of the main fire front.
So it makes it jump.
Exactly. It turns a manageable fire into something unpredictable, explosive, leaping over roads, rivers, fire breaks. That's the pattern.
That explains the speed and why it could reach the city itself so quickly.
It's a major factor in why wildfires in that region can be so dangerous.
So, okay, we have this specific, powerful regional wind, the Mistral, turning a fire into a major crisis for Marseille. What does understanding this mean for you listening? It's more than just seeing a city was vulnerable.
Right. I think so.
Yeah.
It shows how these very local, very potent natural forces can have these ripple effects.
It's effects on global systems even.
Well, yeah. Think about the airport shutdown. Travel, logistics, it's all interconnected.
Right.
And it really raises an important question, doesn't it? What does this intense wind-driven impact on a major city tell us about how we need to prepare?
Prepare for these environmental challenges.
Yes. We need adaptive strategies. This is a concrete example. A specific regional wind pattern may be intensified by broader climate shifts.
Colliding with a dense urban area.
Exactly. And it demands we think really hard about preparedness, not just general plans, but plans that account for these specific local accelerators.
Like how the Mistral behaves.
It makes us question city design, resilience measures, maybe even where and how we build in the future, especially in these vulnerable zones.
So, wrapping this part up, we've seen the story from Marseille wasn't just a wildfire.
No, it was quite specific.
We saw the immediate drastic impact, the airport shutdown, the evacuations, the injuries.
Very tangible consequences.
And crucially, we looked at how those hot summer winds, very likely the Mistral, weren't just fanning flames.
No, they were actively spreading it, carrying embers, dictating that terrifying speed. It changed the whole dynamic.
It defined the crisis, in a way.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
So, a final thought, perhaps?
Well, maybe something for you to consider is this tension it highlights.
Okay.
The tension between these incredibly powerful, localized natural phenomena, like a specific wind pattern.
Like the Mistral.
Right. And our increasingly interconnected, globalized world, our travel networks, our supply chains, just our daily routines.
They clash, in a sense.
They can, yeah. It's a stark reminder of that balance or sometimes imbalance between the forces of nature and the complex systems we've built. And it underscores the ongoing challenge of making our societies resilient enough to cope with an environment that can be, well, fundamentally unpredictable.
A lot to think about there. Thanks for breaking that down.
My pleasure.